It's not unusual to be loved by anyone. It's not unusual to have fun with anyone. But when I see you hanging about with anyone, it's not unusual to see me cry. Oh, I wanna die. Which is a hectic reaction, bro. You just see somebody with somebody else and you're like, yo, immediate death. It's that's not a proportional reaction, in my opinion.
It's not unusual, according to this fella.
Well, in my opinion, it's very unusual.
Welcome to the show.
Oh, yeah. Just hang on. I'm not done with this.
Remember you said last week that you didn't want to have too much introduction because when people first click on it, they must see a podcast.
No, but
So,
listen, fuck them, listen. The first time I heard this was in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And Carlton loved I think his name was Tom Jones.
Yes.
Yeah. And I've always loved the song since, but like when I was a child I didn't really grasp how, that this was like a suicidal song.
I don't even know right now that it was until you told me. So I'm just thinking of all the rom-coms that I've seen all my life, and they play this song all the time, you know. And there's good vibes going on. There's no death and things.
Alright. Well, hello, hi, welcome. The show's name is Politics.
Although
I call it Politrix, and the title of this episode is The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. My name is Presh.
and my name is Dill.
And like last week, I want to ask this up top. Please, can you send a comment or an email with some sort of criticism of the podcast so that we can improve? Maybe tell a friend to listen to it and see if they can find a criticism. You know, we just want to get some feedback. So, yes. That being said, this is going to be a very unprofessional episode. I didn't really prepare well, so there's going to be a lot of waffling to get. But, well, this is the thing. And maybe this is waffle or it's pre-waffle, right? But listen to this. Do you think it's better to waffle a lot and get to that 1 hour, or just put the facts in, you know, only factual information, just to the brim of facts, and then we leave, you know, and maybe that takes 20 minutes, you know? I say waffle. just talk absolute bullshit, you know. Get the full hour in. Everyone, you know, people need a full hour, you know. They're not sure. Did you say your name?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, just making sure. Yeah. So that's gonna be this episode, the waffle episode.
The waffle episode.
I'm gonna title that in the name of the pod, the waffle episode.
The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, the waffle.
Yeah. Anyway, we don't have any cleanup from last week.
That's pretty good.
But
Yes.
I did have a thought, just a random thought.
Tell me.
I was chatting with my cousin. What are you doing?
I'm getting that.
Alright. I was chatting with my cousin about undeniable movies. That it's not like my favorite in that director's filmography, but it's a 10 out of 10 movie. So one we came out with is Titanic. Titanic is not my favorite James Cameron movie, but it's an undeniable 10 out of 10 movie. The Social Network. Wait, sorry, just to go back. What is my favorite James Cameron movie? The Terminator 2. Very incredible action movie.
Nice.
In my opinion, the best action movie ever made. But yes, anyway, back to what I was saying. The Social Network, 10 out of 10 undeniable movie, but it's not my favorite. What is my favorite David Fincher movie? It's The Game. I think The Game is incredible, a masterpiece, but it's not that good of a movie. That's just my
The only game I know is Gerald's Game. Do you know Gerald's Game?
no, I'm not familiar with Gerald. We haven't met. We
Gerald's game.
I didn't meet Gerald at a party and then play his game. Sorry.
If you don't mind, I'd like to tell you a little bit about Gerald.
Tell me about Gerald.
Gerald was taking his wife to the cabin in the woods, and they were gonna have some freaky fun. So Gerald's an old man, and he popped a pill, and he thought he'll tie his wife up with the handcuffs to the bed, and then as he did, the pill kicked in, and Gerald lost his life right there.
Jesus Christ. This is horrific, bro. Why are you telling us this?
Because that's the plot of the movie, you know. Now
That's so fucked.
Gerald's game is about the game of her trying to survive all this bullshit of her being stuck here with her dead husband on her bed, you know. And yeah. But
why would you tell me about this? I'm gonna have like nightmares about this now.
Sorry. Gerald's Game, it's a thriller. Very nice, interesting movie.
Yeah, the game is also a thriller.
Yeah,
It's
so tell me a little bit about the game.
I don't want to tell you about the game.
Okay.
The game makes me upset. Okay, let me tell you about the game. In the game, you have to be rich, and you pay a large amount of money to this company that they do like a simulated reality, right? So you don't know what's real or not. So if somebody does the game to me, I don't know what's going on. I could be getting spied on at any moment. There's a camera in my microwave. There's a camera in my tap. You know, you get very paranoid. And that's, ever since I watched the game, I've been thinking, fuck, am I in the game?
No.
Who knows if I'm in the game?
Because we have news. The news brings us to reality. That means other people are playing other fucking games.
But I'm just saying, it could be localized just to me. You know, the rest of the world can carry on as... I don't know what the news has to do with me being in the game. But anyway, the real point I'm trying to make here, for fuck's sakes, is the social network. I've heard that people want the social network too, that will, you know, follow up on Facebook and see where Facebook is now. But I hate to be the one to say it, we're not going to get that movie because David Fincher, since he's been at Netflix, has been off the boil. Mank and The Killer both sucked, you know, in comparison to his other movies. And what's his name? Aaron Sorkin isn't... Well, I guess he's writing, but he's directing more now. And I think he might want to direct that movie. So, and I forgot to mention, he's a bad director. I watched his movie, Being the Ricardos, just a 6 out of 10. There's nothing special there. There's he's just above average. Just about. Jesse Eisenberg is also a filmmaker. Now, I haven't seen any of the movies he's made. He directed What Are You Gonna Do When You Finish Saving the World or something like that.
What were you doing, Dean?
But
great question.
I didn't watch it, so I can't say anything, but I assume he's busy with his career, right? The only people that are, you know, they have gone up in their estimation in my eyes is Andrew Garfield, who's become a much better actor. Armie Hammer, also he's a cannibal, so they can't bring him back. Sorry. Armie Hammer, the guy, he played the Winklevi.
Okay.
Do you know the Winklevi?
No.
Okay, well, they're the bad guys. They're the bad guys in The Social Network.
Okay.
The twins.
Okay.
And he's just it's one guy playing the twins.
Okay.
Right, and it turned out he was a cannibal in real life. They're not getting him back, definitely. Then yeah, so, and Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross. Is it Atticus Ross? But sorry, they're the ones who made the music for The Social Network. They've just gone from strength to strength, making incredible soundtracks, you know, for everything they've done. So though Andrew Garfield and them are the only ones that have gotten on to be better Everyone else is in a much worse place than they were when they made the social network. So that's why I don't think a social network 2 would work. It'd have to be an entirely new creative team, from the ground up.
To make a new story about new Facebook, and
how Facebook is now. Yeah. Anyway, you want to get into the news for the week?
Yes. So I heard something, I think on the radio or in the news article of Casey and Diddy having a violent altercation, so to say. And I saw video footage of him coming outside with a towel, beating on her ass, which is nasty. And then, I was just thinking of that song last night. I couldn't even get it.
This is very insensitive,
nasty stuff. My friend showed me. So, what do you reckon about that? Huh?
I did not watch the video. I don't like to watch things like that. I understand, on the one hand, you need to see it to realize how the world really is, But it makes me upset. So I don't search out these things. I heard that there was a video, and if other people are corroborating it, I believe it, right? Some people might say, "Oh, but you haven't even seen it." But I don't need to actually see it if, again, other people are corroborating that information, right? Yes, that is. I don't know how to respond in this situation, right? Because there's nothing that can be done. I just hope that this gives the other survivors of domestic abuse the courage, the confidence to come out for themselves and say, "Hey, I'm being abused. Please help me." And then, hopefully, we'll be done with this. In the future.
There should be some public ban, on celebrities, so to say, to ensure that they, have an ethical behavior and maintain good standards.
Yeah. But
I guess
yes, it's like that's just called the law, and if people don't abide by the law, they have to go to jail. So yes. I hope Diddy goes to jail. I hope Cassie,
there's some repercussions.
Yes. I hope Cassie recovers from, the injuries and, the damage she took. Both mental, mental, emotional, physical, all the injuries that she incurred.
Blessings to you, girl.
Yes. Can we move on to the next story?
Sir.
Right, so this week is the election.
Oh, exciting stuff.
Yes. And this girl who I used to work with shared this thing on WhatsApp about a guy on TikTok. His name is Darren Camphor, who, quote, explains politics very well, end quote, from her. So I checked out this guy's channel, and he's doing what we're doing here, right? And I was so fucking mad at her. I'm like, you've never listened to my podcast, you piece of shit. And now you here talking about this other guy's TikTok. What the fuck? I thought we were friends. But anyway,
I'm sorry, mate.
I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a hater. I'm gonna put this guy's TikTok in the show notes. I hope you go listen to him if TikTok is your avenue for consuming. I'm really not that much of a hater because I actually watch some of his videos and he's on the same political wavelength as me. So as long as the message is getting out there, that's what's important. It's not important who you're hearing it from, just that you're hearing the message. So
amen, brother.
I'm endorsing this guy.
Yes, sir.
Not for the election, but as a TikTok channel. He's got my endorsement.
Alright.
Even though I've only seen like a handful of his videos. So that's what I'm just saying. If he gets cancelled for something, I've only seen a handful of the videos. just in case. But he seems like a good dude, so probably won't. Anyway, but if you are here for my analysis, opinions, first of all, of the main parties, you can't vote for the DA. Straight up. They are pro-Israel. They are endorsing a genocide happening right now.
Oh my God, they're pro-Israel.
Yes.
Nobody said that.
They did.
Oh my God!
Do you not follow
No!
Helen's along
I
Twitter?
wasn't listening.
Alright.
Oh my God. I'm
But
so
yes,
sorry.
they are very much pro-Israel. Just straight up, without anything else, that's an automatic no for me. Right? The ANC, we know how terribly corrupt they are.
No.
Just a definite hard no.
Hard no. Pass.
Right? The EFF most closely aligns with my politics. So if you and I are, on a similar wavelength, if you listen to this podcast and you think, okay, they're talking some sense, the EFF is who you should vote for.
That's the one.
But do you trust the EFF?
Do you?
So there's at their 10th anniversary celebrations, they had a professor from, I can't remember which country, but he was an extremely homophobic speaker, right? So the EFF is supposedly, what's the word?
They're supposed to be.
They're in support of the queer community, right? But by having this homophobic speaker come, although he wasn't speaking up, his speech didn't include homophobia, his speech was about Pan-Africanism, but in the past he said homophobic things. You're not taking serious the concerns of a part of your community, right? And that makes you think, what else do they not care about as much, right? So I don't trust the EFF to enforce what they're saying. But if they ever took power, and if they ever governed like they say they would, I would definitely vote for them in the future. But if you trust in them now, then vote for them, I think.
What will happen? Who knows?
Who knows? Who knows? Bro, there was a party I liked and they didn't get on the ballot.
Man.
I forget
The IFP.
not the IFP.
I'm just telling names now.
Yeah, you wouldn't know them.
Yeah, probably not.
They were like the United Socialist Workers Party, the UW something P.
Yes.
USWPS.
Yes.
Something like that, right? But they didn't get on the ballot, so they very not closely aligned. They are exactly my politics. So it turns out that people in this country, there's not enough of us that believe the same thing that I do to elevate this party. So that's a damn shame.
That's a damn shame.
Yeah. Anyway, next story.
Tell me.
So I'm reading this an excerpt from NBC News in an article by Minnie Von Burke. Nicki Minaj was released from custody Saturday, hours after she was arrested by police in the Netherlands on suspicion of exporting soft drugs, authorities said.
Oh my God.
The rapper was fined and allowed to continue her journey, police said in a translated post on X just before 4 p.m. Minaj, 41, was travelling to Manchester, England from Amsterdam for a concert on her Pink Friday 2 world tour when she was arrested. Minaj, whose real name is Onika Tanya Miraj Petty, was scheduled to perform at the Co-op Live Arena in Manchester on Saturday night, but it was postponed. Live Nation UK said in an update, despite Nicki's best efforts to explore every possible avenue to make tonight's show happen, the events of today have made it impossible. The company said, we are deeply disappointed by the inconvenience this has caused. Tickets will remain valid for the rescheduled concert, the company said. Now, I usually try to stay away from celebrity gossip, but I wanted to highlight the ridiculousness of the situation. She had a free pre-roll joints on her, and they detained her. This is just another example of police overreach and the security state, right? The police think they, own you.
Bringing in,
Like, have some common sense and be reasonable about it, right?
Sure.
They just wanted to, I think because she's famous, I don't know.
Make a scandal.
I don't know, right?
Yes.
I'm just speculating. They saw an opportunity to, I don't know, go viral or something.
That's bad, man.
That could be the case. But it also shows that marijuana laws worldwide should be relaxed. I myself don't smoke weed, but I'm just saying for the people that do.
For sure. We want because to be honest, whenever you go to a bar and people drink a lot, people end up fighting, it's not nice. But if you go to someone's house and you're smoking weed, nobody ends up fighting. Everybody just ends up sleepy or hungry, on the couch. Nobody's really gonna be engaging in vigorous activity to disturb nature and the peace, Nobody said, let's smoke a joint and go vandalize nature, People
Well, you don't
usually
know.
do that.
You don't know every single person.
I don't know every person, but I'm just saying,
It's usually not the case.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, the next story is the music list. Well, specifically Apple's music list.
What did Apple's music list say?
So they released a music list of the top 100 albums of all time, and it's caused quite a stir.
Really?
I was trying to do like on the radio they go, "Ooh, it's done this," and I was like, that sounds so odd coming from my mouth.
Yeah.
It caused such a stir. But yes, I have a music group, a WhatsApp group where my friends, they put like WhatsApp links, links to like songs that they like, but it's usually rap songs, and I'm not on I don't like rap songs at the moment. I was in for the beef and now I'm out again. The beef brought me in for a bit, but it's over now. And if you haven't been listening, I called the beef at 3-1 to Kendrick. So, yes.
There was no response after the part 6.
After... What do you mean? That wasn't the last one.
Actually, I saw Drake was
after
rapping with
the one where he says certified lover boy, certified pedophile. That's the last one.
Because I saw there was one where Drake was rapping about BBL Drake.
Yes.
And another person's thing as a feature.
I think he is making a joke out of it. Like
I see he's playing it off nice. That's a smart move, We gotta talk about the diversion tactics, What did he do in order to disperse the situation?
No, but he lost. He
lost. Obviously,
this isn't working. I'm waiting for him.
We know he lost, but he's not gonna come out and apologize. Why can't he do that? Because he just needs to disperse the situation.
All right. Can we get back to the music list?
Yes. Okay. Tell me.
Can we get now? I said this is gonna be a waffle episode, but we can't waffle that long, can we?
No.
Right. So I was thinking, let's go through the top 10.
Okay.
Right. Starting with number 10.
Number 10, Lauryn Hill.
No,
Miseducation.
That's number 1. Go back.
Oh, number 10. My bad. Number 10, Lemonade by Beyonce.
Now, can I be honest?
I know maybe 1 or 2 songs.
I've never listened to this album, bro.
I like it. There's 1 or 2 songs.
But I've heard again 1 or 2 songs just randomly, and I swear her album 4 is better than Lemonade. Lemonade is like a bitter album because it's about her husband cheating on her. And
Beyonce, the one that you like is at number 36, So some of the albums, the way they ordered, I would have also changed them. But Lemonade at number 10.
So if it's not even her best album, I don't think it should be in the top 10.
Well, look, this is based on Apple's algorithm, So I'm assuming these are Apple listeners.
It's not based on Apple's algorithm.
How would they have pulled this data?
They have people who, tastemakers who selected the list.
Yeah, on Apple Music, right?
Yeah, people who work for Apple.
So the people
put
who
together a
use
list.
Apple Music.
No, there's human beings, right? Sat down and chose 100 albums. This isn't based on data.
Oh, even worse. Okay, never mind. Number 9, Nirvana. Never mind.
Yes, very good.
Didn't even play that, but never mind is the album. I don't know Nirvana also. Never heard of that.
I've listened to this album quite a lot since 2021. The reason why? The Batman. So in the Batman, he listens to a song called Something in the Way, which is from this album. So then I'm like, alright, let me go listen to Nirvana and see what their albums are like. And yeah, big fan.
Nice.
But there are definitely some skippable songs on there. So yeah, do you have any thoughts?
Nope, Nirvana is not my jam, but if you're thinking about Amy Winehouse, then that could be number 8. Back to Black, I don't know that album in particular, but I know some Amy Winehouse songs that could be nice.
And they're probably all from Back to Black.
So Back to Black actually is the story, isn't it? Back to Black is her story that's out, and then this is probably the soundtrack.
Yeah, it's the no. This is an album she made.
Oh.
In like 2007.
Oh, okay, word. Wow, yeah.
All right.
Even better. Nice. And number 7, my favorite.
Wait, we didn't even talk about number 8.
Oh.
We just.
Sorry, did you have something to say about?
Yeah, it's a pretty good album. Can you go into the track list? Alright. Oh, there's it. I'm No Good, Rehab,
Yeah.
Me and Mr. Jones, Back to Black. Yeah, this is a classic album.
For sure.
But, and I hate to do this, but sometimes what happens is when somebody dies, they like get elevated to a higher status than they deserve.
Yeah.
So Amy Winehouse died from a overdose, and it's the same thing with Kurt Cobain. And are we ranking the albums too highly?
I think it's a pretty good album, and considering that she'll never make another one.
Well, that's exactly what I'm saying. You're doing it too.
I guess I'm doing it too.
Right. I don't know both. Actually, all 3 so far, I don't know if they should be in the top 10.
Look, the way we feel and the way these Apple people feel will all be different. And now that you told me this is not even based on the amount of views and streamers and the data that they gather, if that's the case, then I don't know how they came up with this bullshit.
I just told you.
Yeah, well, it's nasty, and I'm just going along with it. But we can all make our own top 10 list, so I guess we're just here to describe their top 10.
But I mean, you know what I said about an objective masterpiece? None of these are objective masterpieces so far.
I could say the next one could be
Alright.
Good Kid, Mad City.
I think to us, like our age group, but I'm sure there's like older people who don't regard it as that great an album. They grew up with like Nas, the Biggie, Tupac. They view Kendrick as like
Well, based on the rest of the list, he's the only rapper in the top 10.
Yes, so and that's what I'm saying.
I guess we have to look at it like that.
In terms of the rap game,
he's the only one here.
That album, is that the best rap album ever made? That's the question we're asking, and I don't think so.
Okay, let's see.
And sorry, just to go, it's not even his best album to me. My favorite album of his is Damn. So
me too. Damn.
A lot of people would actually, and I think incorrectly, say To Pump a Butterfly is their number 1, and a lot of people would say To Pump a Butterfly would be the number 1 on the list. all together, but I think that's bullshit. That's a bad album. Get fucked.
Well, fair enough, you know. Again, if you're saying it's these people came together, then I don't know how they chose to be real hood rats. This is an album about hood rats doing hood rat things.
Alright.
You know, so
next one is songs in the key of
Stevie Wonder, the key of life.
In the key of life. Never heard of this, but Stevie Wonder, very celebrated. Well, let me see if I know.
He's got a double-sided tracks. Yeah, one 10s track, one 11 tracks. Right.
Alright.
Lovers in Need.
Okay, well, I don't know any of these. Well, I know Isn't She Lovely?
I'm sure if we heard a few, we would know more, but
we don't have time for that shit.
Yeah.
You know?
It's not about the music.
I'm just saying I hear good things about Stevie Wonder, so if he's on the list, you know, it's probably a fair thing.
So we're not rating Stevie Wonder too highly because he's alive.
Yeah.
Okay, great stuff. Just checking.
Can we go on the...
Yeah. Next in the list is Blonde by Frank Ocean. How you feel about Blonde?
I think that's an objective masterpiece. But tying in with the thing I mentioned earlier with the Social Network and Titanic, it's not my favorite Frank Ocean album. Channel Orange is my favorite Frank Ocean album, but this is definitely a much more mature, thematically and sonically much better. But I'm just saying,
I guess in 4 years he's been doing a lot, you know, since he did the difference between Frank Ocean and Blonde.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good. And are you ready for the next one, sir?
Yes.
Purple Rain with Prince and the Revolution.
Again, classic album, should be in the top 10. No questions asked here. How do you feel?
To be honest, I don't really listen to any of the songs except for the one I just sang, and I only know that from movies. But maybe I would be more familiar if I listened a little bit closer. I don't know. For now,
so when he died,
I wouldn't rate him.
In like 2016, I started listening to his music, and incredible music. He's one of the all-time greats.
Nice.
That's
I'll have to check it out. Thank you. And now we're moving into the top 3 exciting things. Yeah, we're moving with the Beatles in Abbey Road. So how do you feel about the Beatles?
Well, just go to the track list.
Here comes the sun. Do 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 do.
Yeah, definitely. I haven't heard a single song yet. No, because I know some Beatles songs, right? I know Strawberry Fields Forever. I know, well, I don't know if, like, some are just John Lennon songs alone, some are just the Beatles, but I've never heard of Abbey. I've heard of Abbey Road, but I've never listened to Abbey Road. And I'm pretty sure the White Album is more highly regarded than Abbey Road. I think these fucking guys that pick this list are just hipsters, and they're like, oh, we're not gonna choose the best album. We're gonna choose the hipster choice. Like instead of To Pump a Butterfly, they were like Good Kid, Mad City is the actual. And with the exception of number 2 on our list, which is Thriller.
I don't know, maybe they're just looking at it from another perspective of like the hype that they bought at the time of their concerts, you know. Because, for example, the next one I'm looking at, number 2, is Thriller. We all like Thriller, but like out of all his albums, this is the one where, you know, he was doing the most. this is where there was a career trajectory. So maybe we looking at the career, we know the career at optimal, but they are referring to the trajectory starting from the bottom. I guess starting from the bottom. Now we're here.
What are you talking about?
I'm just.
Is this? Does it deserve to be in the top 10? Yes or no?
Yes, of course.
My opinion, it should be number 1.
Nice.
It's the best album ever made.
For sure.
It has both Thriller and I think Billie Jean is on it, right? Just go to the.
Yes.
Beat It, Billie Jean.
Yes.
The Girl Is Mine. PYT. It's a crazy fucking album, bro.
It's lit.
Yeah, it should easily be number 1, but again, another very hipster choice, The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, which I've listened to this album. There's like 2 or 3 good tracks. The rest is very mid, right? Again, this was a clear hipster choice just to be like, ooh, I'm a music snob, you know. The masses are wrong. It's we actually know better than everyone else. And you know what? Fuck you. you were wrong. Although I guess they put Thriller second, which is close enough that you know, you can be like fair enough. They got it 1 spot difference. Anyway, do you have any thoughts?
I'm looking at the list. I don't notice any of the songs, so it's hard for me to say. But also just reading a little bit more information about what they wrote, you know. Again, it seems like they writing from when she just was about to start her career and things were taking off. So maybe we might be more familiar with a couple of songs in the album afterwards, or something like that.
No, I've listened to this album.
Well, not me, but you know. How do you find the album?
It's a good album.
Not number 1 though.
Definitely not. No, maybe not even top 20.
Yeah.
But there is an album that I see that.
Well, look, in the top 20, you know, there's people like the Beach Boys, Dr. Dre,
number 11,
Taylor Swift, Marvin.
Number 11 should be number 2, which is Rumors by Fleetwood Mac. I love Fleetwood Mac, and Rumors is again one of the best albums ever made. Should easily be top 3. But yes, I think we're done with the music list.
That is the Apple's music list. Who made that list? We don't know. For why? We don't know. When? We do know. But
I know the guys who made the list. There's a guy, his name is Ebro. He's from Hot 97.
Oh my god.
And a guy's name is Zane Lowe, who works for Apple. He does the you know, Apple Radio. He's the DJ for them.
Oh my god. That's crazy. Wow. Those guys must have been mixing up some good things in the meantime, but that's not for us, you know. And again, that's Apple in America. Who knows what the Apple in South Africa is saying? Because in South Africa, the Apple must have a piano. But yeah.
What are you talking? Yeah, you're doing too much waffling. The waffle is off the boil.
I'm talking about the Yanos, though.
The Yanos?
Yeah.
What's the Yanos?
Amapianos. That's part of our culture, you must share it.
Yes, no, listen to me. The kids at tutor, they play Amapiano for me all the time. But that doesn't mean I have to like it.
No.
So?
I'm also not saying you have to like it.
What are you saying?
I'm saying we should get into the context of the movie.
Alright, speaking of which, my dad the other day just randomly said, you know who I think is the most underrated director? Guy Ritchie. And I'm like, what the fuck? Why would you say that? Guy Ritchie is very hit or miss. I liked his Sherlock Holmes movies. I can't remember now what's the one I didn't like. But, Aladdin.
What?
I don't watch Aladdin though. But I'm against the idea of Aladdin. Of making
cartoon?
No, of making the live action.
Oh.
He directed the live action one.
Oh.
The Lion King all these live action, quote unquote, live action versions of the animated ones, I feel are a cash in by Disney, you know, and I'm against the idea of them. So, yes, there's another one I didn't like. Well, I guess the second Sherlock Holmes, I didn't like that either, right? But he clearly has talent, right? And he is very good at, like, well, the people he works with very quick editing and very
the way the scenes that he shoots are also pretty good.
The transitions, he has a quick kinetic energy with his filming. That's what he usually has, right? Now, unfortunately, well, can we get into it? Well, there's not really any context because all the context is given to you, right? I just wanted to chat about the director, that's all. So can we get into the thoughts for the movie?
For sure.
I thought this was the opposite of the director's style. He's usually, like I said, very manic, very, like, what did I say? Kinetic, a very kinetic directing style. This movie lacked that entirely. I felt, just it was missing something throughout the entire movie. The second thing I want to say is they're leaning too hard on cliches. Well, not cliches, like on other movies. So.
That's the thing, bro. You can talk your shit, but the actual context of this movie is that it's based on a true story. And when it starts like that, you know it's gonna be an interesting story. So the true story is that the president wanted people...
The prime minister.
The prime minister wanted people to do a mission that nobody thought could be done. And in fact, while these fellas were doing the mission, I did not believe it, they did not believe it, but the job was still done and we weren't sure what was going on, so we pushed on. So I think it was a pretty cool story. A little bit of context to it, yeah. And sometimes it's nice to get the context straight out the way, bam bam, we in it.
Alright, and I disagree with you about the story, right? Everything was a win. There's no point where they get set back. There's no conflict, right? When the Nazi finally understands what's happening, Isaac Gonzalez just shoots him in the head. Like, at no point were they ever in danger.
For sure.
If they had like a more capable villain that was more like closely on it, and I understand this is a true story, but just add some, flair. I don't mind changing elements in a movie to make it more cinematic, because that's the point of a movie, to tell the most interesting story, not necessarily the true story.
Wow, I really enjoyed the true story, because in my mind, the true story is these people just rocked up and it was an easy mission. So like I'm saying, it was very easy. And maybe it seemed too easy. There was no hardship, there was no battle or anything. But, if it was so easy, then it was good for them, Then I applaud them on their mission.
Now, the reason I'm also kind of upset about that everything is a win-win-win is because there's no, the action isn't very cinematic. When I say that, there's no, good fights, there's no... how can I say, it's like up close, batter down. Everything is like pop, 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 and then somebody falls down. It's not very cinematic. I think there's lots of action movies that do it way better than this, and this movie, just the action was very poor throughout, except in the final scene when they get on the boat, when you have like Alan Richardson taking the big the axe and fucking chopping hooks down. That's when it got good. But 98% of this movie was just awful action. The acting is pretty much all the same. I only know the one guy because he's like the explosives guy, but he speaks in the exact same way as Henry Cavill.
There's no variation in
the guy
accents.
who's the guy they go to save. They go pick him up first. He also speaks exactly like Henry Cavill. They all sound the same. I don't know any one of their names. I just know, like, okay, this is the explosives guy, this is the person who does this. This guy moves the boat. I mean, not moves the boat.
But they all have very simple jobs.
Yes, you can tell them apart by their jobs. But and I didn't like at the end, where they showed a picture of the real person and like what they actually did. I wish they would show a picture of the character as well, so we could see, because I don't know their fucking names, right?
Well, at the end of the movie, I recognized their names and also by what happened, like in their after story, you know. So if you paid enough attention, you could pick it up. But unfortunately, if you don't, it happens like that.
There is something where, this is very clearly a worse version of Inglourious Bastards. The Nazi is supposed to be like, but let me give you an example of why Inglourious Bastards works and this movie doesn't work. Right? It's called showing instead of telling. If you tell somebody, hey, this happened, it's not very cinematic. But if you show them something, the audience takes in better, right? So in the beginning of Inglourious Bastards, you have the guy's name is Hans Landa. He comes and he like interrogates this guy, and he starts shooting and kills this lady. Her name is Shoshana's family. Then later in the movie, so we actually saw the violence. In this movie, Isa Gonzalez just says, hey, I'm a Jew. She tells us that, actually I don't even think she tells us. I think when they're giving the character introduction to her, they say that she's half Jewish or something like that.
That's true.
Right? So they're just telling us. So I intellectually understand, because she's Jewish, she has a grudge against the Nazis, right? But in the one movie, it made it more visceral, more like in your face. Whereas this movie, it's not very good or clever.
It isn't a different fancy technique, but it was very effective for me, because even when she told that guy to his face, I'm a Jew, I was like, oh girl, I pray he don't take you seriously. And then after a long time, she said, I'm joking. I was like, this guy is dumb actually. So I guess in that regard, it could have been a smarter villain. But again, I'm glad that it wasn't, because
part of that smarter villain is just, I wasn't scared for them at all. Speaking of which, not a single one of them died. One guy got shot a little bit, and that was it. That's there's no tension, there's no
well, look, when he went into that first camp and they were like, there's 30 people and there's a couple of us divided up, that's 15 each. When you said it like that, I was like, oh, okay, that's not bad. Then I saw that guy with the bow and arrow moving, and I was like, yo, this guy is gonna do the bulk of the work, But yeah, I think it's just a cool movie. What about the team? Do you think of the team and the dynamics?
They were fine. I didn't think too much about them. And yourself?
I guess they were also fine. They didn't have much, in depth with each of them. So I wouldn't have
they kind
any
of
character perception.
There's
very shallow.
Yes, there's no like, oh, I get to know this guy on a more like personal level. All I know is this guy is the explosion guy, this guy is the navigator guy, and that's all we get from them. What their job is to do. The only person who gets a little bit of like a fun thing to do is Henry Cavill, when he keeps going, oh, I love that coat, and then he ends up taking the coat. That
sounds fun. Something different, It was a little chuckle here and there.
But yeah, it's kind of split up into two plots. The one with Isa Gonzalez and the one with Henry Cavill. And both plots, I think, didn't mesh well with each other. You know, it's unclear what one has to do with the other, I felt, up until right at the end. So for like a large part of the movie, I'm like, what's going on here? Why are these interlinked? But, you know, a better movie would explain it to us. But maybe they did explain it, I just wasn't paying attention. But I didn't understand why they were linked in any way until, and even right at the end, I was just...
Who wasn't linked?
Isa Gonzalez.
Who's that?
The lady.
The lady and?
The black dude.
Yeah?
Their storyline.
Yeah, versus
the other group.
Yeah.
I didn't...
They are spies. They were sent ahead to infiltrate.
Yes, I get that. But I'm just saying, it was very unclear until the end.
Why was it unclear? They definitely explained that
Alright.
The spies.
Alright.
The spies will be sent.
It's fine. Maybe that was my misunderstanding.
No problem, sir.
Right.
No problem.
To complement the movie, I thought there was some very good looking practical effects. I'll give it that.
The explosions look hectic.
Yes.
It's like all the money went into the explosions.
Anyway, back to what I was saying about, like, not cliches. It's like somebody says this could be the beginning of a beautiful friendship, which is what they say in Casablanca, which is very similar to this movie. Casablanca is set in Morocco, and it's about these people finding love, and this is set in Nigeria, right? And it's not really about finding love, but he's referencing Casablanca, which I don't think would have been out at this point. So what is he referencing?
Maybe Casablanca stole it from him. Who knows?
Alright. Anyway, when I say practical effects, I meant like the action. One thing I hated was the Winston Churchill. He looked and sounded awful. He just had a very odd look about him. And I just didn't like it.
For sure.
How did you feel about the Winston Churchill? The Prime Minister.
The Prime Minister, he was okay. Like, he didn't really get involved too much and give too much input, so I like that. He was just backing the boys. You know? It's like, go on, do the job, you know, do the things, don't worry about me. So I like that. But in terms of his acting, I don't really have a comparison to what Winston Churchill looks like or sounds like, so I wouldn't really know, you know, if he did a good job in replicating that. But, you know, he was decent enough for me.
Fair
he was
enough.
just an old grouchy man as far as I'm concerned. But like you say, not much depth and character you know, analysis in what's happening. We didn't get a chance to really go into. Even me, I didn't think about Winston Churchill coming to visit them until the very end. Like you say, you know, when they said this is the friendship, you know, started. Yeah, these people work for him.
But look, another thing that took me out, one was the Winston Churchill, his look and sound. This could be the beginning of a beautiful friendship. 3, there's a guy there, his name is Ian Fleming. And I'm like, isn't Ian Fleming the author of the Bond books? And then they tell us right at the end of the movie that he's the author of James Bond, and he based James Bond on whatever the fuck Henry Cavill's character is in this movie, right? So that's another thing. It not took me out. I was just wondering about that. Like, why did they name him Ian Fleming? And then,
wow, this is the OG before James Bond was
yes,
around.
I know, but I'm just saying.
So do you think this guy?
It made me wonder. Instead of me being engaged in the movie, it made me think about something else. And the movie shouldn't do that. The movie should, you know, grip you, keep you interested instead of thinking about something else. Yes.
Okay. Well, I like the ending as it came to its conclusion, because I was really looking forward to, like, damn, I could see these people working for this guy. I want to see another mission, So I really hope that there's some follow-up, something extra, something more to come.
This was a real life.
Yeah, that's the problem, and because it's real life, it's not just a story, I don't know how they're gonna make it up, but I guess they could just make it up, as they wanted to.
To be honest with you, I do not want a sequel. This movie was fine. It wasn't incredible. It wasn't, I wasn't blown away by it and in desperate need of more.
Think about it this way. This movie was the introduction for these characters. Now that the actual story is out there, they can use these characters and this information and make a pretend story after it.
A pretend story?
Yeah.
I was going to say a real story.
No. Because they already have a real story. They just did it and you didn't like it.
There's a difference between a story that's real and a real, story.
Oh.
That's a real story, Do you get what I'm saying? Alright, it doesn't matter.
But sure.
I didn't like that the finale was rushed. They could have honestly chopped out like 20 minutes in the middle and given that 20 minutes to the finale, because like the finale was too quick. I feel like there was a lot of waffle in the middle and then bang, they just finished it off. They could have, let it roll out a little bit better. But yeah, what are your thoughts on any other thoughts?
I really enjoyed the movie. I don't know about the action, because you put that doubt in my mind. It was very easy. The mission was very effortless.
How is that doubt? That's just what happened.
Yeah, well, I'm saying that I can't feed that doubt because I don't know the story itself, of what happened. If the manifesto that they took this brief from said that the mission was that easy, then I can't blame them for putting it like that, because it's based on a true story. I don't want them to embellish it. I don't want
hang on. This is not a documentary. This is a movie.
Yeah.
So documentaries are for accuracy. Movies are for cinema.
I guess that's true.
Alright.
Well, I wouldn't watch a documentary on this, but I'll definitely watch the movie.
Alright, well, what's your score out of 10?
I'll give it an 8.
Alright.
What about you?
I'm somewhere between a 6 and a 7.
Yeah, just give it a 6, it's okay.
What do you mean?
I knew you were gonna say 6, it's fine, just give it a 6.
I can give it a 7.
Nah, it's okay. You were a hater from the beginning. You said you didn't like this one. It's okay. I see how things are going nowadays. Every movie I pick, you got a problem with. Every single movie. Next week, what movie are we doing, sir? Let's get excited so I can tell you I got a problem with that movie. No.
You can pick.
No. I don't want that.
Alright.
We're gonna go to the movie.
Oh, we don't need to do it like on mic.
Yeah. I'll catch you.
Look,
I'll see you.
Next week we can't do Furiosa. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to watch it next week. I have a very packed week. So it's going to have to be something like on streaming or like, So you can choose.
Nah, it's okay.
Alright.
Thank you very much.
No, this is a recommendation section.
I'm just
oh my God,
relax. For listening for this part, bro. Jeez.
Why?
You can say thank you.
You didn't say thank you for the context. You didn't say thank you for the news. You didn't say thank you for the cleanup. It's only this. You just wanted to say thank you now. Just for this one section.
No, the section is the thoughts, which is the most important section, sir.
Is it? Some people just come for the news. That's a lie. I don't know what people come for. Because that's why I need people to write in and tell me what.
I see what you did there.
But I'm just saying.
Quiet like.
I'm just saying. I don't know. That's what they come for. The main thing. The main Anyway, can we get into the recommendations?
Tell me, sir.
Well, you can start.
Well, I watched a movie last night called One Night in Bangkok, but I was mainly watching it for nostalgic purposes, you know, making me think about Bangkok, so I enjoyed it. And the movie itself was okay, you know. It was just, I was watching for nostalgic purposes. I've been watching 911, Young Sheldon. I think I told you, did I tell you last week it ended? It was the last episode.
Yes.
Yeah, sadness. And then Fire Country also ended. A lot of the things that I've been watching are ending. Good Doctor also ended. So all my weekly shows are coming to an end.
I found out that Dr. Han got fired.
Ish.
I thought Dr. Han fired the Good Doctor, but so this is how it played out. Dr. Han fired the Good Doctor. Somebody above Dr. Han rehired the Good Doctor and then fired Dr. Han.
Ish.
So that's a shame for Han.
But anyway, that's what I was been up to, and yeah, that's what's been new with me. And there was something else I was watching, but tell me a little bit about what you was watching.
So, following around Blank Check's Santoshi Kon miniseries,
yes,
I watched Tokyo Godfathers.
Nice.
Which I initially thought was gonna be like a gangster movie, but it's actually about these 3 homeless guys. Oh, I should take that back. These homeless people, and they look after a baby, and they find an abandoned baby, and they just have an adventure through Tokyo.
Godfathers.
I guess.
Child. That's pretty interesting.
Godfather, I don't think that's a proper translation. It's more like a caregiver.
I mean, if your parent dies, you'll go to your godfather and they'll provide you with care.
Alright. But whatever the case is, it was a very, very well animated movie. And there's not really any reason for it to be animated. This movie could have been
a real life.
Yes, just a real life movie. But on the episode I listened to, that's the point. The point is that it's a medium, not a genre. So they should be able to make movies where it's not quote unquote needed, where you can just pick any genre. Anyway, look.
Tell me what's next in the Blank Check miniseries.
So this is the thing. I haven't finished every Blank Check series. So oftentimes I go back to listen to older episodes. Well, I watch the movie first, then I go back to listen to the episode. So the first movie I watched was The Keep, after following on from Thief a few weeks ago. The Keep is the second Michael Mann movie, and it's kind of rubbish. It's I'm a big fan of Michael Mann, but it's a horror movie, and there's a lot of bizarre elements that just don't really fit together or make sense. Yeah, that's really all I can say about it. I gave it a 6. I'm fine.
For me.
Oh.
Thank you. Tell me what's next.
Can you see, I think there's something wrong with the mic.
Who's mine? Why?
Anyway, it's fine. Just I'll edit all this out.
Okay.
Let me think. Okay. Then following The Keep, I watched Manhunter, which is a prequel to Red Dragon. A prequel to Silence of the Lambs, and it was originally, the book is titled Red Dragon, which a movie from the early 2000s, they remade it, and people often forget about this Red Dragon adaptation by Michael Mann, and it stars Wolfgang Peterson, who you may know as Gil Grissom from CSI, which I didn't realize him until I googled after the movie, but I was watching, and then yeah, I just kept thinking, who the fuck is this guy? He looks so familiar. And then, yeah.
Now we know where he's from.
Yes, and I'm a big fan of Manhunter. I really found it very interesting, very tense. It's a tense thriller. It has like a very banging soundtrack. And yeah, it's still the 80s. So he doesn't have like all his tools in his toolbox yet. So it's still like an 8 out of 10, but you can see the platform for his later movies, which are 10 out of 10 bangers, right? Then I watched The Silence of the Lambs, which like I said, Manhunt is a prequel to Silence of the Lambs, but Silence of the Lambs is a tense movie where
with Hannibal Lecter.
Yes, he's a
cannibal.
Yes, Hannibal the Cannibal. He's a doctor. He's a clinical psychologist who's also a psychopath murderer, and it's about an FBI agent using Hannibal to figure out who this other killer is. Not a copycat, just to figure out how this guy's mind works, and then they catch the killer. End of the movie.
Nice.
I definitely enjoyed Silence of the Lambs more than Manhunter, even though they have very similar stories and aesthetics. One is directed by Michael Mann, the other one by Jonathan Demme. So I'm not I enjoy the aesthetics of Manhunter more, but it's very clearly Silence of the Lambs a better movie, which I'm going to give a 9 to.
Yay!
Alright.
It's the Silence of the Lambs.
Alright, do you have anything else to say?
No, sir, thank you. That is my recommendations for the week. So are you saying that you would recommend these movies, or are you saying that you just watched them?
Both. Like, recommendation section is just what I've watched, and then somebody can listen in and say, oh, that sounds like something I would like. Or maybe every suggestion I give that I'm like, oh, this is a high ranking, the person that watches it thinks, oh, this movie sucks. Then they can be like, all right, let's wait for him to give a bad ranking, and then maybe that movie would be for me. So I'm doing a service. I'm doing a public service for the. But thank you for listening. Please remember to rate, review, subscribe, give a like,
yes,
etc.
Please.
Importantly, it needs to be a 5-star review.
Also, don't forget about comments.
Yes, please comment. Send a comment. We need to improve. We need to get better. Feedback. Yeah, I don't know why. We're like a string quartet, you know.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.
Goodbye.